Hey there, fight fans. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this episode of Combat Sports Talk. Welcome to Combat Sports Talk, a podcast dedicated to UFC and Bellator discussion, the MMA community, and combat sports in general. I'm your host, Ryan Smith, and joining me this week is the man with the keys to victory, John Keys.
Hey, what's going on, podcast world? We're here. It's Tuesday night. You know, life is what happens when we're too busy making other plans.
All right. And the man who is shimmying those shoulders like Suge Avery, Kelechi KC Onyebuchi.
Bienvenidos a todos.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right. Now, hey, can you get jiggy with it?
Claro que sí.
There you go. There you go.
Y'all can't be looking like y'all fit the description and then trying to get jiggy with it at the same time.
I'm just saying. What other key shoulders? So you got the Suge Avery shoulder shrugs. You got the getting jiggy with it. What else? Are there any other shoulders?
Hold on. Ice Cube said he leaves dancing to the guys with the funny haircuts. All right, so yeah.
Fair.
Okay.
There's one other famous shoulder thing that we got to do in memorandum, and it's the Larry King shoulders.
Oh yeah, we got to do the Larry King shoulders. Rest in peace, Larry King. You know, I had an opportunity to meet Larry King.
What happened?
So Kelechi and I used to work together at a telecommunications company called Alcatel-Lucent. And so we put on the Broadband Media Summit in Las Vegas, Nevada, and one of our special guest hosts was Larry King talking to Ashton Kutcher.
What?
And so no, it totally happened. And so we had Larry King who was talking to Ashton Kutcher. We had Rob Thomas from
Matchbox 20.
No, it's three doors down.
Whatever.
I love that we don't know the answer.
Rob Thomas was Matchbox 20?
Yes.
I thought it was 3 doors down. But anyway,
doors down was Superman. You know,
I'm gonna need you to double check this. I think you made that up.
Okay. Anyway, so the thing was that I was running assistant producer, and so my producer was in the green room with Larry King, and so because I was out running the show, I couldn't actually go back and meet Larry King and Ashton Kutcher and everybody else. So Sue Brewer, if you know Sue Brewer, she is the one who actually got to meet Larry King. And so I was this close to greatness. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I did make some great friends who are still making it happen in the media world. Shout out to Brian Tong, my brother from another mother.
Nice. I have a quick tie-in here that I promise leads to both. So Alcatel-Lucent afforded a lot of interesting opportunities, and I remember going out early to CES one year with them, and that was a little bit before you and I started hanging out at work, and that's where I met Quentin Rampage Jackson.
No way!
At CES. He was like debuting 2 booths over. They were doing like a video game. It was like NVIDIA graphics, trying to show like the latest and greatest of the graphics. And the UFC EA Sports game had just come out. So I was doing like a live like show of like how cool UFC fighters were. And he was a good dude. Sad that today I trolled him on Twitter, but it was
Wait a minute. Why'd you troll him on Twitter?
Because he decided to like start cutting for the Robinhood app, and I'm like, he's like, if you want to make some more money, you should join Robinhood. I was like,
All right, so we have effectively stolen your thunder, John. So what do you have from the random trivia department this week?
All right. Well, it's still February, and unfortunately, we only get 28 days to celebrate Black History Month. So let's talk about the oldest fighter to ever grace the ring at the UFC, and that's the Black Dragon, Ron Van Cleef. Dude is like 78 years old. Called the Black Dragon. He was a former Marine, which that's the only bad thing I can say about him. The rest of the stuff is awesome. Fourth degree black belt in Taekwondo, fourth degree black belt in Judo. He's a 10th degree red belt in his own martial arts, which is called Chinese Goju, which is it's a attempt to unify Japanese style Goju Ryu, which is a hard soft style, literally, with its roots in Chinese martial arts. He is still currently the oldest fighter to fight in the UFC at age 51. He fought his first and only bout was against Royce Gracie. Lasted 4 minutes and 39 seconds before he was choked out.
Wow.
Later on, he became the commissioner shortly after of the UFC and was there for a year from 94 to 90 to the beginning of 96. After that, he retired from karate championship, competition in 2002 after winning the All-American Karate Championship at 60 years old.
Wow.
The man competed. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's when you got that when you watch those kung fu movies, you got the grandmaster with the beard down to his belly, and then it's like he's still able to win fights.
Yeah, in one move. Okay.
I have only one question regarding this guy's stats. So, sounds really impressive, minus one thing. Does he have a black belt in Muay Thai?
No, he does not have a black belt in Muay Thai. Okay, we'll have to ask George. I think George has the answer to that one. Okay.
All right. If you are playing along with the Combat Sports Talk drinking game, black belt in Muay Thai is a cause to drink. So go ahead, tilt one back for the team. All right. Well, that was awesome.
Well, hold on, because I got two more things that's really awesome about this man. Okay. Ron competed over 900 tournaments in his 40 years on the tournament circuit.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Do you not know this man still is competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to this day? He started in 2015 and is still rolling. Okay.
The guy's the Tom Brady of
he's the Tom Brady.
Man is still dangerous. Okay. He's 70. Like I say, currently he is 78 years old. Okay. And the man is still rolling. So
literally.
Okay. So, holla at your boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
all right.
Well, and Rob Thomas was in Matchbox 20, by the way.
Matchbox 20. There it is. Okay. All right. There it is. So, let's go into it. So there was a lot of fights this weekend, and so we're going to talk about it because I got a brand new. It's the same sound, but it's all charged up. I got us a crow button that I need to be pushing on. So let's get into it with the official decision. The official decision. This is where we talk about the fights that were on Saturday, I guess Friday and Saturday night. We're going to start off kind of in reverse from last show. We're going to go off with the Bare Knuckle FC Knucklemania, Friday, February 5th, 2021 at Jenkins Arena in Lakeland, Florida. And first of all, we're going to talk about Chris Lieben, who defeated Quentin Henry via knockout, round 1, 1 minute and 7 seconds. Now, Chris Lieben, he's a throwback to the UFC back, the first win for Anderson Silva in the UFC. This was he was the guy that basically was the open door for Anderson Silva to make one of his historic runs to a title shot and then held that belt for many, many years. Chris Lieben was always been just this brutal dude who can just knock folks out. That's his kind of game. And so I think Bare Knuckle FC is like the best place for his style of fighting. And so
he's known for leaving it all in the octagon.
Yeah.
Oh,
and so even though I think this was supposed to be his last fight, he says that he would actually come back. He would come back and do some more. So Dat Win, not the Dallas Cowboy Dat Win.
Bro, I got so excited.
Defeated Johnny Bedford via unanimous decision, 48-47, 48-47, and 49-46. And then Britton Hart, in the main event of the evening, defeated Paige 12-gauge Van Zant via unanimous decision, 49-46, 49-46, and 49-46. I was the only person to pick Britton Hart.
Wait.
There you go.
Wait, how?
That's right.
Oh,
I picked. You weren't here to pick, so you were
talking about.
So Kelechi has agreed that when he is not going to be on the show, that he is going to send us his picks for the show so that we can put them on air and they can be official Combat Sports Talk picks.
For the record, if everyone on air could see the text chain, I call these out. It just never gets counted.
It's not official. It's not on wax, man. If it's not on wax, it ain't happening. Madame Tussauds rule.
When it comes
Madame Tussauds rule.
When it comes to Paige Van Zant, to me, she's been more gimmick than fight for the last couple of years. So I didn't see it going any other way personally.
Wow, we're just not going to give her any credit for showing up and not getting knocked out, huh?
Well, no. Here's the thing. MMA Superfan said Paige turned it around in the 5th round. I'm interested to see her next fight. She did. The problem is those first the first 4 rounds, right? Where I really do think that Paige Van Zant saw Britton Hart get blown up by Beck Rollins and was like, I beat up Beck Rollins. This girl she's not going to, I'm a UFC fighter. This is just some bare knuckle FC. No, Britton Hart is a scrappy fighter. And it says a lot more about Beck Rollins than it does about what Britton Hart can do. And so Britton Hart came charging forward, was landing combos. And next thing you know, Paige was like in a fight for her life. Now, I think that Britton started getting gassed at the end of the fight, and Paige, being a UFC fighter, being that professional fighter that she was when she was fighting, and being trained at Team Alpha Male, she was able to try to get it going. But at the end of the day, she needed a finish.
You know what? Some analysis would say that she really turned the page in that 5th.
What am I doing? Why am I making this sound? Wait, I don't need to make that sound with my mouth. I can just play the button. All right. You know what? You keep them coming, Kelechi. I love puns, so you keep them coming. All right. Let's get to UFC Vegas 18, Overeem versus Volkov, Saturday, February 6, 2021, at the UFC Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We had 5 fights on the card. Beneil Dariush versus Diego Ferreira. Beneil Dariush defeated Ferreira via split decision, 28-29, 29-28, 29-28. And so it's one of those things where Beneil Dariush, I meant to look up what song he walked out to. I think MMA Junkie, I think, has a week, golly. MMA Junkie has a playlist of the walkout songs. Thank you, Kelechi. And so you get to see what they walk out to. I'm telling you, Beneil Dariush probably walked out to some Christian single, but not like
Christian. You know what I was like, signed up to ChristianMingle.com.
Manel Cape faced off against Alexandra Pantoja, or is it Pantoja? I don't know if it's
Pantoja.
If it's Pantoja.
Pantoja.
Because if he's Brazilian, you got to print. It's a hard J, right?
Yes.
So Pantoja defeated Cape via unanimous decision. Clay Guida, Captain Caveman, defeated Michael Johnson via unanimous decision. You know, we haven't heard these names in a long time. I don't know about I don't know about Michael Johnson anymore, man. I'm like, if you're getting beat by Clay Guida, and Clay has been in this fight for a long time.
No, wait a minute. We can't hold on. Okay, so
I'm not. I don't mean to say that as a disparaging remark about Clay Guida. Clay Guida is a busy fighter. He's a really good fighter. But
there you go.
Clay,
anything for the butt is a lie. Remember that.
Clay Guida has crested the hill. He is part of the old guard, and even though he's just signed a new 4-fight deal, I don't see him making a run at the title anytime soon.
But you got to understand, Clay Guida has like one of the best gas tanks in the UFC. Period.
Okay.
Period. Therefore, he's got the pressure, and the man is still a threat. He may not be a consistent threat, but he's still a threat.
Yeah, I don't take anything away from that. I think it's still just the fact that, I mean, he's just not been as popular as he once was. Like, his star is not on the rise right now.
Yeah.
He's crested the hill.
Yeah.
But
like you and me, John.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm with it. Okay, I am with it. Trust me. I am rolling down the hill at a very high rate, okay? In a roly-poly motion. Okay?
There it is. Let's welcome George G-Money Stallworth.
Okay, so let me be the first one to say here that I didn't get the memo about the black hoodies and everything, and we're supposed to go on Instagram later to
what month is it? What month is it? Why are you wearing blue?
Colonizer.
We'll start after the show.
Hey, interesting fact. Black Panther.
Yes.
So I really got into kind of the behind the scenes videos about Black Panther, the movie, and I think it was Ryan Coogler, who said that if you look at the scene where they fight Claw, at the underground gambling casino, you'll notice that T'Challa and the two ladies that he's with, I forgot their names, they are wearing red, black, and green, which are the colors of African colors, right? Red, black, and green.
Yeah, I saw that.
Claw is wearing blue, and blue represents the colonizers.
So I'm getting beat up later. So
there you go. So John Keys, thank you for the representation. Representation matters. And so therefore you thank you for wearing blue.
So
at least he's on brand, huh?
Instagram, they're gonna try and beat me up, and we're gonna really see how it goes down. So welcome, Coach G Money Stallworth, George G Money Stallworth.
How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing pretty good. We were just getting to the co-main event of the evening: UFC Vegas 18, Overeem versus Volkov, Frankie Edgar versus Corey Sandhagen.
Oh, that crow button been lighting up tonight, hadn't it?
Oh yeah, well it's getting ready to, because as I'm looking at it, George G Money Stallworth and John Keys picked Frankie Edgar to win. The only one person who picked Corey Sandhagen, and that was me. But picking good fights, picking winners. That's what I do. So The only thing that I got to say is this fight lasted 28 seconds. It takes about a minute and 28 seconds to call the fight. So to introduce the fight for Bruce Buffer. So this right here, Buffer Factor fail. It's a Buffer Factor fail, y'all. Frankie Edgar could have been knocked out 3 times by the time Bruce Buffer finished announcing the fight.
And it was going great for Frankie Edgar until it didn't. I'll be the first, because I'm like, he had the pressure. He was cutting off the ring. And Corey's like, hey, do me a favor. Catch this knee. And it was over with. Okay. He caught it. And he looked over there and walked off on. I was like, I just put my head in my hand. I was like, I can't even watch this, man. I don't even know if he's dead on the ground or what. He didn't move.
He didn't even move. Yeah, and
Dude, I was of the
ahead.
definite opinion that experience was going to overshadow, these young bucks. That's where I'm at in this. I was like, Frankie Edgar, it's too much experience for Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen was like, hold my beer. I'll be right back.
That dude is like, from the start, I'm a Colorado homer, so of course I'm going to cheer for him. But man, he's looked really good. I mean, he's had one drop in the last 4 fights. Like, that is the truth.
So I mean, it was like I saw it, and it was just like, oh wow, I think somebody's trying to make a statement, because I it said 2 things. One, that Corey Sandhagen might be in that title talk now, and 2,
not might
really,
be, not might be.
Hold
He is guaranteed a title shot
after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well then, and the second thing is, I think we need to really revisit how wrestlers try to engage people. They really need to miss that knee a lot, because that's the second wrestler to catch that knee and not make it out to the other side so far. So,
are you bringing up Ben Askren? Is that a segue to the Ben Askren and what's his name, Logan fight?
And Jorge Masvidal fight?
Super necessary. It's the super necessary fight.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Did anyone notice the 5-inch height difference between Frankie Edgar and Corey Sandhagen? Like, we are looking at this changing of the guard. Remember, Frankie Edgar is a former lightweight champion.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Gray Maynard days, the trilogy, right? Like, this is like historic type of thing. He went from 155 to 145 to 135, and now he just got lit up at 135. So I don't know what the future looks like for Frankie Edgar. He says he's going to be back. I think that Dana White loves Frankie Edgar. I don't think that he's going to get rid of Frankie Edgar as part of the 60, but I just don't see a lot of upside for Frankie Edgar right now, because you've got Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling, Corey Sandhagen. Like, you're going to put Jose Aldo? You're going to give him Jose Aldo, Marlon Moraes? Like, who are you going to give to Frankie Edgar now to get him back on track? I don't like his odds against Jose Aldo or Marlon Moraes.
I think the best thing that Dana can do is give Frankie Edgar a position as talent and enhancement in the UFC, and not let him enter that ring again after that. That was brutal.
Yeah, that was a pretty brutal one.
I feel like he just got caught. I mean, we didn't get an opportunity to see what he really looks like at 135. So I think he does deserve another outing. And I don't think that Jose Aldo fight is a bad fight.
So I agree with you, George, on the fact that if a fight lasts 28 seconds and it's between someone like Frankie Edgar, who's got a pedigree of just being a phenomenal fighter, he got caught. We didn't see Frankie Edgar's talent on display there. So I don't, I don't necessarily, I don't think that Corey Sandhagen is 28 seconds 3 times better than Frankie Edgar. So I agree with you. I think that he should get another fight. Let's get another look at him. But I don't know. Jose Aldo looks really good.
But I'm going to agree. We didn't get a look at Frankie at 135, and
but y'all acting like
Jose Aldo is much in the same boat as Frankie. He's a little long in the tooth, especially to be at 135.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are acting like Frankie Edgar is brand new. We know Frankie Edgar.
I'm saying he's long in the tooth. I recognize Frankie's been around. Look, Frankie did this same thing to BJ Penn. BJ Penn was an aging fighter. Frankie came in and lit him up. BJ looked like a zombie fighting Frankie Edgar. So I think, yes, definitely give Frankie another outing at 135. I think Jose Aldo is a good matchup for him because they both have great UFC history and experience and story behind them. that's a matchup you can build, and I think folks will be interested in that fight.
MMA Superfan, what do you think in the comment section there?
All right, so we'll wait for his comments there. There we go. He just came in there. Look,
I'm kind of with you.
Stay away from that CTE, man.
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
The comments.
Hold on. You know what? We're gonna have to rewind it a little bit back because Lapedia Light said something that I am a little upset with.
Did you say
Pedialyte? Lepidolite.
Yeah, Lepidolite. Yeah, Pedialyte. Yeah.
Is it this quote right here? The odds thought that Sandhagen was 3 times better. That one?
No. Further back than that. No, I kind of agree with that. But the BKFC was is so unskillful. I have to disagree.
No, wait. Why are we going all the way back to BKFC? No. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. Okay,
base that off at the end of the show, man. We're not going all the way back into discussing BKFC and the skill of fighters. No, we talking about Corey Sandhagen and Frankie Edgar.
Corey Sandhagen is a foregone conclusion. We know what happened. Okay, dude caught Frankie Edgar in the most beautiful destructive knee I've seen in quite some time. Okay. That's what it was. And walked off and looked around like he ain't getting up again. And I mean, he could have came up to the camera and talked all sorts of smack. And guess what? Everybody would have agreed with it because we saw what he just did.
You know, but what was really what I really liked about that though is that when they tried to get him to showboat about beating Frankie Edgar, he was like, you know what? I just did that to Frankie Edgar. And like, I did not want to have to do that to Frankie Edgar, but it was him or me, and I had to choose me. He's like, but I take no pleasure in knocking out Frankie Edgar. And I was like, you know what? That's a lot of respect. Because Frankie Edgar is kind of, you know, one of those guys with that, you know, that we've all kind of grown up in this sport with, right? You know, he's the answer. And so whenever you have someone who just puts him out and just makes him look like, I mean, like an amateur, it's kind of hard to watch. It's hard to watch some of the great ones. Now, some of these people that we don't necessarily like, it's fun to watch. But for someone like Frankie Edgar, who's kind of been on the up and up the whole time, it's hard to watch him fight. And so it was great to see Corey Sandhagen celebrate and he was like, where's my belt? I want that belt, because he's going to get the winner of Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. But at the same time, he didn't take too much pleasure in defeating one of the greats in Frankie Edgar. And I know that I sound like I'm writing Frankie Edgar off, but I do believe that he should get at least one more shot. Let's find him another opponent and see if he can't, make a place for himself and perhaps a run at the title, before he retires.
I just don't want him to end up like BJ Penn. That's all.
Oh, you mean fighting at bars and arrested and driving his car into stores and always in trouble with the law?
I was just getting ready to say, I just don't want him to fight longer than he should have. But if you want to throw all that out there, then yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. I went in
of trouble with law enforcement. Did y'all see that Daniel Strauss from Bellator recently got arrested again?
Yeah, I did. We did see that.
Very similar thing. I think he was arrested for an aggravated assault or something like that. Like, apparently there might be some weapons involved, or.
Oh, I think there was like a stabbing or something like that. I did not add it. I did not add it to the run sheet this week. So definitely check out the Daniel Strauss headline. But let's get to the main event of UFC Vegas 18: Overeem versus Volkov. Alexander Volkov defeated Alistair Overeem via TKO at 206 in round number 2. Now, I want to tell you that everyone on the show picked Alistair Overeem except one person. And do you know who that person is? This guy. Because Kelechi wasn't on the show. And so his picks
But we all know how Kelechi feels about Overeem, though. That's a foregone.
We do. But because the Madame Tussauds rule is final, your show ain't on wax. So it don't exist. But
real quick,
what?
What's the number one rule?
Rule number 1: Never bet against the Russians. And so even though I take pleasure in playing the crow button, you guys remember what happened last week. Last week I was like, Alistair Overeem, he's going to beat Volkov. And George was like, hey Ryan, what's rule number 1? I'm like, oh, I gotta pick Volkov. I gotta pick Volkov because rule number 1 says,
in your heart you picked Overeem.
I had, but on wax I picked Alexander Volkov, and he won. Dude, that fight. Let me just say, he broke Alistair Overeem's nose. We know that was the injury in the first round, and Overeem never recovered from that. I don't think Volkov was really in any danger. I don't like the way Alistair Overeem, does this shell thing and just kind of freezes and then tries to catch you with that overhand right. Or is it a left? I think it's overhand right. But he does this shell thing and just kind of waits for you. Not like Yoel Romero, but it's still one of those things where I think there needs to be an evolution of his style.
Speaking of shells, what is that thing on your left hand, Ryan?
You know what? It's me getting old.
You try to punch a hole through a wall or something? What is happening there?
No. What it is carpal tunnel is what it is. I'm getting old.
That's what happens when your pimp hand gets too old. That's what happens.
Yeah. So
second point on getting old, man. I think it's time for Overeem to look at putting those gloves down in the octagon or something, man. I've seen too many fights where he gets hit and then he, like you said, he creates this shell and we get nothing out of him after that. And it's like, dude, CTE is real. I think, who was it? MMA Superfan or someone mentioned that earlier.
Yeah. MMA Superfan. Look, he could have been talking about Frankie Edgar, or he could have been talking about
Overeem.
The thing with Overeem is I'm over him.
Overeem. There it is. There it is.
If they ever decided to get rid of USADA, I would like to see Overeem. Yes, I'd like to see Overeem.
So the question has been asked, what is next for Overeem? Does he stick with the UFC? Does he go to BKFC, Bellator, 1? I don't think he goes to 1. You think he just stops fighting?
No, 1.
He doesn't have he can't stick with the UFC because there's no path forward for him. I don't think that he can break the top talent without getting broken. The Bellator angle for him, like, he's not raw anymore. Like, I think he's lost too much of his luster to make a real run within Bellator, though I think he'd be good. It's just the money just doesn't line up unless they pay him ridiculous above scale. So I don't know what works for his career other than to say, hey, I had a good run.
Yeah, I don't think the fire's there. I think that there was an ember that was turning into a flame as he was making his rise and walking through some of that competition. But the fact is that I think that Volkov, yes, Kalic.
Just speaking of old real quick, did Coach just pull out CDs? What is this, 1992? AOL Online CD?
Hey, man, I saw that CD from Set It Off, dog. Don't do that to him.
These are paperweights. I'm using these to lift my computer up and get it to a great height. Yeah,
is that what you
Coach got CDs, man.
We got AOL 5,000 hours for free.
Like I said, those are paperweights you saw. Never mind you, Kalechi. That's what that is.
Oh, we got the really old. This is the really old episode, apparently.
This is the carbon dated episode. I'm about to change the title.
Yeah. Okay, so Overeem can't, as exciting as he is, has what's the word?
CTE.
CTE as he is now. As much of a promotional tool he would be in Asia, he can't go to 1 because they're in the heavyweight division. There are monsters over there. There is this guy named Alain Ngalani. That dude is.
He does lose a lot.
Yeah, for as big as he is, He takes a lot of L's once he gasses in the first 30 seconds of a fight.
But guess what? Guess how long Alistair's gonna last? Okay, he's gonna last 15 of those 30.
28.
So.
Yeah. But the thing is that you would get Overeem if you went to 1FC. That's the thing, is they don't have USADA there.
I thought they did some form of testing over there though. Like, I know number one, they stay on you about weight. Not that that's an issue for Overeem, but I thought they did some form of testing in one. It's not. It definitely ain't pride rules over at 1FC.
Oh no. But they are consistent about their weight, how they cut their weight. But as far as a drug test, I think everybody's got a little neon green in them.
I tell you what, I would like to see Overeem do. He needs to call Mike Tyson up and hit the Legends League.
You see, they set up Holyfield. The
what?
Tyson Holyfield 3.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't. Okay. But yeah, I can see Overeem doing the Legends League with Mike, and I doubt very seriously if Mike Tyson is going to be hooking up that the USADA testing pool.
No, not if he's smoking weed in the back.
Did Overeem have a big enough name here in the U.S.?
Dude, if regardless of his name, if he shows up on the scale and looks like Overeem, not Overeem, people will tune in. Yeah, people will tune in. Man,
it's on.
I got one fight that I want to see though. I want to see Usman's brother fight Overeem. Have y'all seen Usman's brother?
Yeah, he's like the thing.
I want to see that fight.
I see.
You know, he's here in Dallas. He trains here in Dallas.
Really?
All right. So here, a couple of comments, and then we'll keep going. Lepidolite says he doesn't think Overeem will retire. He's been fighting for way too long. I disagree with you. I think that Overeem is going to retire. I think he's done. So mark my words. I think he's done. I don't think he's going to have another fight in the UFC. MMA Superfan said he likes the Legends League idea though. So
I appreciate your violence there, MMA Superfan.
Let's see what happens there. All right, let's go ahead. Last bit on this before we close the book on this is the bonuses. I don't usually have the bonuses, but I had the bonuses this week. The co-main event and the main event winners. Alexander Volkov and Corey Sandhagen got performance of the night bonuses of $50,000, and fight of the night was Benil Dariush and Carlos Diego Ferreira. So those were your winners of the bonuses that night. And so let's go ahead and close the book on this one and put it on the shelf because this card is history. Now let's go into our next segment where we look at the headlines that are making waves in the MMA world with Finding the Angles. Is Finding the Angles. This is where we look at the headlines that are making waves in the UFC world. You know, our friends in the comment section, they've been asking about it. It's our number one story of the day. This is our headliner. You know, we don't spend a lot of time talking about other promotions outside of the UFC, but it is time to talk about Bellator. That's right, Bellator. Bellator had a massive announcement this week, and that is that they are leaving Spike. They are leaving Viacom CBS. Actually, no, that's not right. They are leaving. They are leaving Spike, and they are going to Showtime.
What?
Huge mistake.
That boxing on Showtime money.
That's right. They are going to Showtime. Think about it. It is not a huge mistake. Who is the president of Bellator?
Coker.
Scott Coker. What other promotion was he the president of? Strike Force. And where was Strike Force's home?
On Showtime.
On Showtime. So he got him back on Showtime. But that is huge.
Well,
I think it's because they acquired.
Well, stop. Isn't Viacom Showtime related too?
Yes, it is. That's why I corrected myself, because I was like, he's leaving Viacom. No, they're not leaving Viacom. They're going to Showtime, but they're leaving. They're leaving Spike, was where they were on Spike, and CBS Sports.
Okay.
So it's still internal to the Viacom conglomerate, but it's now they're going to Showtime, and I think that's going to be better for them because Showtime has that pedigree of sports, and I think they're going to be able to take a lot of the production value that Spike had. I mean that Showtime has to increase the visibility and the production value of Bellator. My eye is like really itching right now, and so I'm like, it's hard to talk because I'm like rubbing my eye, like Okay, there we go. I'm back.
You got some of that Poirier. Got some of that Poirier sauce in your eye, huh?
Yeah, something. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. But that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing. So they announced their move to Showtime, which I think is great. Yeah, but also they also announced a light heavyweight tournament.
Finally,
they're gonna do it. Finally. It's great.
Goodness.
8-man light heavyweight tournament.
Maybe they were listening to the show. Maybe they heard us. They said, you know what? I think those guys got something there. Let's make a tournament. Let's see who's really down for it. Finally.
Right.
Or they said, now that we're having people pay for these fights, we got to make sure it's worth it.
There could be that too.
So MMA Sports Fan says that I love the move and their Friday night strategy. However, I'm not stoked about spending $11 a month to watch the fights.
Fact.
Yeah,
right
facts.
there with you.
Man, $11. Hey, you bought a chicken dinner with that, okay?
No, but the thing is, it's the cumulative cost, right? Like, so we're paying $11 a month for this. We're paying $11 a month for, or it's probably just $5. I forget now. The ESPN Plus. And then we're paying for the fights on top of that. It's expensive to be an MMA fan.
It can be.
Yeah, it absolutely can be, because then you're thinking about, I'm also paying $9 or $11.99 for Fight Pass, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
$9.99 or $11.99 for Fight Pass. I'm getting, and then I have Netflix and Hulu, and I got all that other stuff too. So, yeah, I don't like that aspect of it, but I do like the move. I think it's a power move for them because of the fact that they're going to be able to tap into some of that production value that the boxing gets. And so it'll elevate the quality of the production that we get to see. And that's one of the things that I've been saying about Bellator, is that they just can't match UFC on production value.
Yeah.
So much like Danger Russ, they're going to get with Sierra and level up.
Oh, wow.
Really, Casey? Really?
Oh, he's been doing it all night. He's been doing it all night.
One of these is gonna hit. Promise.
Yeah. Just look. Hey,
I'm taking the Roy Nelson strategy. Just throw haymakers and one will land.
Just don't guess.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the tournament though. The tournament starts April 9th, and it has 2 quarterfinal matchups. Ryan Bader versus Lyoto Machida. How long have we been asking for this fight from Bellator?
We haven't. Don't play.
No, we have been. I have been asking for this fight from Bellator since Lyoto Machida showed up on the doorstep of Bellator. The first fight I wanted to see Lyoto Machida fight was Ryan Bader, because remember, Lyoto Machida embarrassed Ryan Bader in the UFC. He knocked Ryan Bader out with a walking back jab and put out Ryan Bader.
I'm a Lyoto fan, but honestly, I feel like he's gotten a little chinny in his old age.
Yeah,
and I don't think this is going to be a competitive fight.
Watch him.
I think Ryan Bader grabs him, tosses him to the floor. We're going to get to see some Lyoto jiu-jitsu for a minute, and then Ryan's wrestling will kick in, and we're going to see some ground and pound.
Watch Lyoto do exactly what he did the last time again. Ryan Bader's going to try and shoot in, and Lyoto is going to have that punch waiting for him, that counter punch, and just knock him straight out again.
There you go. The other fight is Corey Anderson versus Dovletzin Yagshimorov. There we go. He's a newcomer.
I'd rather see Corey and Ryan Bader.
Well, you might get to see him if they both win.
They both win.
Then on April 16th, you get Vadim Nemkov, who defeated Ryan Bader in very powerful fashion, facing off against Phil Davis, and Anthony Rumble Johnson makes his return against Yoel, the Soldier of God, Romero.
You know, who was it? Lepidolite just said, hey, Bellator's production is good, but the fights are not. Some of these fights do sound kind of interesting now, though.
Tell me you wouldn't pay for that. Tell me you
We're
wouldn't
not
pay
watching these fighters in the prime.
I definitely want to see Romero. I like a couple of the matchup possibilities in Phil Davis, Ryan Bader, and who was the other one? Corey Anderson. Those are some potential good matches there in the future. So I don't know, man. That I'm not upset with this at all.
Outside of Yoel, tell me which one of those fighters is in their prime.
Corey Anderson and Phil Davis.
Phil Davis is in his prime still?
Yes.
I mean, dude, you wouldn't like to see that fight. That's an interesting fight.
I just think it's funny that the only fights that we think are interesting are fights that we could have seen in the UFC, and that's what that fight is good because it's a UFC fight. There you go.
That boy
now,
good.
But MMA Superfan said this is Nemkov's tournament to lose. Now, remember, Scott Coker said that Nemkov is arguably the best light heavyweight in the world. Of course, John Jones has moved it to heavyweight, so we can't point at John Jones and say So I think this is a fair statement that this is Nemkov's tournament to lose. We will see, but I like Anthony Rumble Johnson. That dude, power.
I has a question.
All right, go ahead, John.
Has John Jones relinquished the title yet?
Relinquished?
What are you talking about? Jan Blachowicz is the title holder.
Oh my God! You know what? I just had a brain.
All right, we're gonna take John Keys off the screen.
You casual.
Look.
Somebody get the MMA casual police on him.
He's wearing the blue shirt, guys. That's like wearing a white belt. It's a blue shirt. What's that?
He's a blue shirt. He's an ensign right now.
I might be on my. I need to get my. Let me check my sugars right.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Casey.
I got me losing.
Go ahead.
My train of thought. No, never mind. I'm good.
All right.
My train of completely lost after that.
Okay.
No.
Wait.
Hold on.
Okay,
MMA Superfan said Romero is too small for these guys.
It's possible. I talked about this before. Yoel Romero should be at middleweight, because when you start thinking about the size of the guy who, once you get to light heavyweight, you start getting to the 6'1", 6'2" guys. The difference between a light heavyweight and a heavyweight frame is very little. The difference between a light heavyweight body frame and a middleweight frame is pretty substantial, because you're looking at a middleweight, you're looking at the 5'10s, 5'11s. As you get to light heavyweight, you're at 6'1", 6'2", and then it goes up from there for heavyweight. And so I think that it is a fair statement that while Yoel Romero packs a lot of punch and has a lot of power and could still win some fights, that overall, over time, I think you're going to run into problems, because these guys are much bigger, they're taller, they're packing around much more weight in different ways than what Yoel Romero will do. So I think that there's some truth.
Isn't Daniel Cormier like 5'9"?
Yes, and so there's a difference between an exception to the rule and the rule.
and MMA Superfan, just to address the statement you said before that, Rumble is not he isn't. We know what Rumble is very capable of doing. He will not surprise us if he does it. Okay, there is absolutely. We know the power behind that man. We know how fast he can throw it and how quick the people will lay on the ground once he does. We know this. We know what's going to happen. We will be pleasantly surprised when it does happen. It's not a matter of if he does it. It is more of a matter of when he does it.
Well, I gotta ask one question. Won't he do it?
They are. Won't he will? Real quick, I just wanted to say, because I'm normally the guy who poo-poos on the UFC, just wondering, I personally am a big fan of these tournament styles, like, because so often the rankings just get bypassed and they're almost meaningless. What do you think the odds are that the UFC starts to implement because the tournament style, given that I think every other promotion has at least run a tournament recently?
George, what do you think? You want to go first?
Well, in some divisions, they by default are doing it. They're just not calling it a tournament. I mean, you've got so many guys that 155 division, basically, that's a tournament. You ain't got to call it that, but that's what's going on here. We don't know who's fighting for what and who's the belt holder.
Yeah.
But I'll wait. It's not Khabib. Khabib said, I'm not fighting.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, unless you get some inside information, unless you've been over to Dagestan and got some inside information. Last I knew, Khabib's mama said, that ain't happening.
It's been a long weekend for Juan Yabez, man. Trust me. Okay. Khabib and Dana are supposed to have another sit-down meeting.
And he's gonna tell him, Dana, I'm miles ahead of these guys. These guys nowhere near touch me. No, I not come back for that.
He wants Poirier. Okay. He
doesn't. He's already beaten Poirier.
He choked Poirier out in the third round, dude. He don't need Poirier.
Trust me. He wants Poirier. Why?
Why does he want Poirier? What's different about that?
He may have saw something. He has often said, he has been stated to say that Poirier is the man to have that title. Dana is going to say, if you want him to have that title, you're going to have to fight him so he earns a chance to that title.
We'll stop. No.
Okay. All right. You know, y'all said the same thing about John Jones and Daniel Cormier.
Drink.
I'm just going to say, okay,
Drink.
Yeah, definitely drink on that.
Drink on that.
You know, the only fight I'd even remotely think that Khabib might be interested in, and it's lost its luster because it's cursed, is Tony Ferguson. And now that Tony's lost 2 in a row back to back, that fight doesn't even have the same luster.
Yeah,
I just want to see it as a fan. I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't think that the Tony Ferguson fight is a fight worth watching anymore. And this is coming from, you know, a huge Tony Ferguson fan. Like I'm a Tony Ferguson guy.
That's right.
You know, but it's not a fight that I think is interesting anymore. I don't think that Tony Ferguson is at Khabib's level. You know, we got MMA superfan here. He's talking about liking the GSP idea. I think that's probably the only fight that Khabib would come back for. But George St. Pierre has already said that he's not interested in fighting. I actually hate fighting. I do not like to fight.
But yeah, definitely. That's what Khabib is running for. But we're not gonna see that. Okay, so. Yeah. Just mark my words. It's gonna be.
So I'll mark your words, but I'll mark it next to the John Jones Daniel Cormier rematch that never materialized. Yeah, there you go. Drink that up.
Oh no, I said it beforehand. Okay, and it happened right before the second one. I believe. I think I said it for the second.
No, you have been on the third, the trilogy, all that.
It wasn't that. Hey, I'm just saying, man. Okay.
That went away.
Jilted lovers. Man.
Oh gosh. Y'all gonna end up drunk before this show is over.
That's why I don't drink alcohol, because I know I died of alcohol poisoning before the show.
All right. So let's go on to other headlines that are in the MMA world. So we remembered that Diego Sanchez went live and said, "Hey, I got one more fight left in me. I want it to be a fight worth fighting." And it looks like they're going to book, if they haven't already, Diego Sanchez versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. So I want to get your reaction to that. Now, remember, they both used to walk the halls at Jackson Winklejohn in New Mexico. And then, of course, Cerrone got upset with the situation over there, decided to go up to Colorado, Kalechi's neck of the woods, and start his own fight camp and build a ranch out there. And so now you've got these two former teammates potentially facing off in Diego's farewell fight, which arguably could be Donald Cerrone's farewell fight as well. But Cerrone's talking big noise, saying, "Hey, listen, Diego's saying that this is going to be two legends going at it." He's like, "I don't think so. Maybe one legend and Diego Sanchez going at it."
Look, I got the promo for this fight.
Right. I'm gonna give you full screen. Hold on. Let me give you full screen. You got it. There you go. He's full screen.
Donald Cowboy Cerrone, Diego Nightmare Sanchez, fighting whatever date for the CTE belt.
God,
that's awful, man. God. That's terrible, man.
It's real though. It's real. That's real. That is real. And look, the way these two guys fight, there's definitely gonna be some CTE in there.
Oh wow!
And if it's their last fight, if it's their final fight, that means there's gonna be violence. Okay, I promise you that.
Yeah,
it will be. They will wake up choosing violence that day. Okay, all right, I guarantee it.
Yeah, but you guys are into that though. You want to see Diego Sanchez, Cerrone for the you don't. So we got two no's. You got John in the perpetual yes.
I am not a fan of brain damage.
But this is something that, as much as I'm not a fan of it happening, this is something that's going to have to happen because egos are bruised now. So we might as well enjoy the ride or the train wreck, as it may be, for what it is. I mean, I'm not saying that violence is not the answer. It is a question. And when a question is presented, the answer is yes. Okay. And we're going to get that. Okay. Every day. All right. Let them have it, man. Let them have it. They are grown men. They know what they're doing. Get in the ring, close it up, let Big John McCarthy come back, or maybe let give him the Gracie rules where there's no rounds and the referee is only there to prevent somebody from dying.
Well, if they're gonna do it, I just want this. I want Donald Cowboy Cerrone to fight somebody before he fights Diego Sanchez, just so that he is warmed up for that fight. like
it took a minute for that to sink in, Ryan. I got what you.
Yeah, I just don't want Donald Cerrone walking in there and he's like, I just got it from my nap.
Like, he just opens up the car trunk and he just comes out waking up and everything.
Yeah, like he still got on last night's underwear, man. Like, come on, man. Get.
I think they're at two different stages of their retirement, though. Like, Diego, it's time. Has been time for him to go.
Has time.
Cerrone, in this weird way, if he's able to find a way to show up, he's still a legitimate fighter, and that's hard for me to say. But when he does show up after a fight, he's still a legit fighter. He can do some damage.
Yeah, but I think we all agree. I think we all agree.
Ahead of him.
Go ahead, John.
What's that?
I'm saying you're saying the key words though. If he shows up, as a fighter at his stage, he has to be. These are some young killers now. Okay, he needs to be on his game 100% of the time. Otherwise, you're going to end up like Frankie Edgar on the ground after you call it.
The only fights he doesn't show up for are the big fights.
Yep.
The other fights he shows out.
At this point in his career, all the fights are big fights now. Okay,
We've talked a lot about We've talked a lot about the changing of the guard in the UFC, and I think that Cowboy represents just that quintessential old style fighter that can show up and really beat you up in the later rounds. Today's UFC fighter has to be able to come out of the gate firing, and that's just not a Donald Cerrone that we've seen. And if we have seen flashes of it, it's not something that he can sustain with just his fighting style and how old he is. So I think that that's what really becomes the game changer for how we look at when it's time for Cerrone to retire, because for him to move forward in the rankings, he's got to absolutely completely change his fighting style. And I just don't see that happening given how he's lived his life. He's not going to change his style.
I think that's fair. So just to kind of wrap up this topic, we didn't all go around the horn, which we don't need to now, but Dana White said that he does not like tournaments, and so I don't think we're gonna see a tournament in the UFC for a very long time. The last tournament we saw was the flyweight tournament to crown Demetrius Johnson as the first flyweight champion. So that was the last time we saw a tournament in the UFC. I don't think that we're going to see that happen. I think that we're going to see that happen. I think that it's a compelling fight just because of the history of Donald Cerrone and Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez, of course, being the first Ultimate Fighter as well. So I think that if he's going to go out and he's really going to retire, I want to see him fight somebody that means something to me. So I like the fight. Even though I would say that Diego Sanchez is like baseball, he's past time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
there it is. Should I play the trumpet? Should I play the trombone?
Yeah,
no, dude, I'm here for it.
I'm just gonna say this.
There we go. Go ahead.
I will say this: if this tournament turns out to be exciting and as good as I think, as it looks at on paper, I think this may change Dana White's mind a little. But it's going to have to be on. I mean, it seriously has. This tournament will have to be on fire for him to actually sit there and say, okay, maybe we can look into doing a tournament style.
I don't think so, and the reason why I say that is because if the tournament for Bellator is fire, then Dana White is almost guaranteed not to do it, because then it'll look like he's following Bellator. It'll look like he's taking notes from Scott Coker, and he's absolutely not going to do that. That is not the UFC's brand, and I think that he would stay away from it. I think that if it was not fire and it failed, then you could potentially see him go like, well, let me show you how a tournament's supposed to be done. I'm gonna put this 155 tournament together, and maybe you would see that. And UFC do it. Yeah, do it on Fight Island and then move it around and make it kind of a, make it like freaking Street Fighter 2.
Bloodsport.
World Fighter.
They're fighting in the streets of Abu Dhabi at random spots. Is that what you're asking? Is that what you're
absolutely.
telling me
Well,
there,
and maybe they'll do it in Hawaii. That would be a really cool place. And you know who's the king of Hawaii? And that is Max Blessed Holloway. And Dustin Poirier was saying that he believes Max Holloway is a better boxer than Conor McGregor.
I'm
go ahead.
You.
Feel your feelings. No, feel your
full
feelings,
screen.
KC.
Full screen. Boom. Now you're on screen. What you gonna say?
I want to talk about Full Strength. So you and I have gone back and forth over whether or not Conor hits hard enough to be a true knockout artist, or to say that he has power. So if your boy Dustin is saying that Holloway is a better boxer, does that influence your argument at all over whether Conor has power?
Well, because I'm looking at the run sheet, Dustin Poirier said that it's the combinations that makes Holloway a better boxer. Conor's definitely the better puncher. That would suggest power. But I think Max puts things together better and is in a position to throw combinations better. I think Max Holloway's the better boxer. So I think that Dustin Poirier is consistent in his belief that Conor McGregor has power.
Placement. He never says the word power.
He's the better puncher.
That could be placement. And I think most people would say it's placement when it comes to Conor McGregor's accuracy.
We got two other people here. So let's just ask them.
My opinion? There's a difference in being a striker and a boxer. I think Holloway is a better boxer than Conor. I think Conor is an overall better striker. He lands with a little bit more precision than most guys, and he packs a more powerful punch. He does mix up some things. He has somewhat of a karate style stance, which everybody argued about this last fight. He tried to change it into the boxing stance, but he claimed it. He's like, I was trying to prep for the Pacquiao fight. He made a mistake. I think Conor's a better striker overall. I think definitely Holloway is a better boxer.
Remember, Conor's background was kickboxing before he came MMA. So yes, he is a better striker. He's a kickboxer, and he should stick to that. Boxing, nah, leave that to Holloway. Holloway has proven that he is a combo machine. He got combo number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 12. He's got more combos than Wendy's does.
Ha oh, so that's how you do it, Kelechi. That's how you do it, Kelechi, right there. Look, he didn't even smile when he said it. Look, he hit the punchline and he didn't even smile when he said it. We got to take notes, right, man.
Gotta be a straight man to do it.
Poirier has been in the news. Of course, we know we talked a lot about hot sauce last week for the Super Bowl at which the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won. Tom Brady got his 7th Super Bowl championship. There was a Super Bowl party at Michael Chandler's, and Michael Chandler's friend Theo Vaughn happened to bring him a little bit of a housewarming gift in the form of Dustin Poirier's Louisiana-style hot sauce. And do you know what Poirier did? I know what Chandler did when he saw it.
What did
he threw it in the trash.
Wow! We've been trying to
it's like garbage. Garbage.
Hot sauce was hot sauce. I'll take it. I don't care.
It was strictly a joke. Actually, Chandler threw it in the trash, then pulled it out and actually put it on some wings, and was very complimentary of the hot sauce. So while Chandler is talking much smack to try to get into that fight against Dustin Poirier, he did at least say that the hot sauce was legit. Kelechi, you got something?
On a related note, I believe that for the next card, as we pick, whoever is worst on their picks should have to do the chip challenge.
Whoa, man, hold on.
Thanks.
You trying to put people in the hospital while the Rona is out here, man. What's up with that? Okay.
I'm not scared. I just look. You just know that. I hope you don't have the Rona, because the Nostradamus needs to be able to smell victory. Because if you get it wrong, you're gonna be the one doing the chip challenge.
Yeah.
Since I proposed it, I am only a judge.
No.
Not.
Man, if you gotta do it, we'll do it. Who's paying $30 for that chip though?
I'm putting in on it, but as you guys have discovered,
he's got 5 on it.
I don't like to do the work, so I will Venmo you instead of actually buying the chip.
So since we're talking about Dustin Poirier and hot sauce, we should actually talk about, if you haven't seen his appearance on Hot Ones, you should actually watch it. It's really good. I enjoyed watching Dustin Poirier do the 10 wings challenge, basically where they start off with just a 3,000 Scoville regular hot sauce and then go to kind of unlimited Scoville hot sauce wings at number 10. And each step of the way, they're talking about Dustin Poirier, the Good Fight Foundation, some of his thoughts on fighters in the UFC. So it's a really good video. So definitely go out and watch Dustin Poirier on Hot Ones. If you haven't seen it, you'll enjoy it. He's such a good dude. I do have to say this though. It was really funny because it's you see him hit somewhere around number 8 or number 7 or number 8, and it's like whole new level of heat, and he's just like, I'm not gonna drink this milk. I'm not gonna drink this milk. I'm not gonna drink this milk. But it's hot. And then he has to get hotter, and it gets progressively hotter after that. So definitely check out that episode. It's so much fun to watch. And he's very complimentary of his opponents and things like that in the UFC.
I have to say that's must say something, because I truly believe people from Louisiana is sprinkled with slap your mama spicy seasoned salt when they come out the womb, and they wrap them up in the blanket. They just sprinkle that stuff on them, and they just wrap them up like a little burrito and put them out there on the baby thing.
It's that cayenne pepper.
That cayenne.
Y'all are terrible.
I'm gonna be a great grandparent. I promise y'all that.
All
those
right.
kids are gonna be so messed up. I'm not gonna lie.
So here's the thing. Last week we spent a lot of the show talking about Megan Anderson, Casey Kinney, and Sean O'Malley, Tim Welch, and all they said about smashing Megan Anderson and all that kind of stuff. And so we were talking about like how, we need to really, as men, as people who are fans of the sport, we should create space so that women don't have to be objectified like that, in MMA. Even though I know that is a large part of the MMA audience is that type of personality. However, right on the heels of us publishing that show and talking so much about women's MMA, Stephen A. Smith, George G. Money Stalwart's most favorite person in the entire world.
That you are.
I am not Stephen A. Smith on this one. Stephen A. Smith comes out and says, when I think about pugilistic sports, I don't like seeing women involved in it at all. I just don't like it. I wouldn't promote legislating laws to prohibit them from doing so, but I don't want to see women punching each other in the face. I don't want to see women fighting in the octagon and stuff like that, but that's just me.
Okay. So what's wrong with that?
Fire from all sides rain down on Stephen A. Smith. Women's MMA are like, why don't you want to see us in the ring? Like, why shouldn't we be in the ring? We should be fighting in the ring. You have people then saying that Stephen A. Smith is suggesting that women don't belong in the octagon and don't belong in combat sports. You have people standing up for Stephen A. Smith saying, it's a preference thing. It's not something that he should do. And so created all this controversy, and we didn't get a chance to comment on it. And so I put it.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well,
I'm sorry.
So I put this link in the Intelligent Defense discussion group. And so for you guys out there, if you're not on the Intelligent Defense discussion group, that's where a lot of these debates that we're having on the show start off. And so I got to talk to Dale Duggan, and I can't remember the other guy's name. I have to look it up real quick. And we went back and forth about looking at all sides of this issue. And so for me, it was like, I understand what Stephen A. Smith was trying to say, but the fact that he is Stephen A. Smith and a celebrity sports journalist on ESPN, having an opinion like that carries more weight than just some dude sitting in his lazy boy saying, I'm not a fan of women's MMA. And so
when he says he's not a fan of the Cowboys,
it's different. There's nuance there and context. It absolutely is. Because when you say I'm not a fan of it, then that's saying one thing. When it says I don't like seeing them in the octagon, it's saying I don't like seeing women's MMA. Like I don't think that women's MMA should be a thing.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, I've been lamented about this. I've had my conversation about some of the things I said last week. Okay, and the way I feel about it is that was just my opinion. And let this be the one time in my life that I will defend Stephen A. Smith on this. He stated his opinion. He says he doesn't like seeing it. That's his opinion. It's not. Nobody should read any more into it than what he put out there. Okay, he said he doesn't like it. He wouldn't promote legislative laws to prevent them from doing so. but he just doesn't want to see women punching each other in the face. That is, that's it. He doesn't want to see women in the octagon and stuff like that. He doesn't say that he wants to prohibit it. He didn't say that he wants to, he doesn't want women, to be, breaking the law doing it. He just say he just doesn't like it. People have their rights to say. There are people out there that doesn't like pineapple on pizza. We should not cancel.
And they're wrong.
Because I'm sorry. I've had it. It's not that bad. It just don't do the barbecue sauce. I just do regular tomato sauce, cheese, pineapple.
Okay, so I understand. I understand the notion that a person is entitled to their opinion.
Yes.
However, different opinions carry different weights because of what you are, because of your job, because of what you do. You cannot turn off that I am a sports journalist when you say something about sports. Now, if it's just some dude who works for 9 to 5 every day and says I don't enjoy women's MMA, it's one thing. It's another thing when you are a celebrity in sports journalism and you say I don't like women's MMA, I don't want to see women fighting. Then it's not the fact that it's violent. It's not the fact that that there's blood. It's the fact that they're women, because he has no problem with men doing it. So it's the sex of the athlete that he has a problem with. And when you say you don't want to see them in the octagon, and not I want to see them, I would prefer to see them with headgear on, or I'd like to see them more protected or something like that, then it absolutely suggests the fact that it is the fact that they are women in the sport that he has a problem with.
I'm saying that he is a sports journalist that expressed his opinion. I cannot be mad at them. Yeah, I mean, just like critics. Critics are paid to criticize. I can't wait. Now, if it was let's say Dana White saying that, or Scott Coker saying that, CEOs and general managers of professional fight organizations saying that, then I may have some, because those guys are the movers. These guys are the people that do make things happen. Then we can start asking a serious question on why. Now, if he says, I don't like women in MMA, but I'm still going to let it happen, that's his personal opinion. Okay? And nobody can be mad at his personal opinion, because while he still has a personal opinion, he's not going to stop progress. Okay, you can have a disagreeing opinion, but still let progress go. But I'm going to let it go because somebody said they want to hear what Coach thinks.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah,
MMA.
They're looking like Alfred Hitchcock. So Go ahead, man.
Dude, I don't even know why we giving Stephen A. Smith the time of day. We've discussed him way too long on this. Like, he is such a casual. Apparently, he's got a movie coming out called Rumble, and that's where he needs to stay, in fiction somewhere. I don't want to hear any of his ideas on this sport or combat sports in general. He is not the man. I get it. He's a celebrity host or whatever, but he has no business speaking on this. I don't know if you guys saw that video that Overkill Hill did.
Yeah, it was great.
She parodied. Dude, he needs to stay in his lane for real. And don't get me wrong. Everybody, you're right. Everybody has a right to their opinion, but some of us don't need to be sharing our opinions with the public. And he's one of those guys, in my opinion.
So I have to toe an interesting line here, because I generally talk trash about MMA for fighters who are under 155 pounds. I don't really consider that fighting. And that's a messed up statement, but it is also I just see it differently. I think because I look at how Dana White transformed, that I have to give Stephen A. Smith grace in saying that he truly is a casual. Because you had a Dana White who had seen women's MMA and was like, this is just, if we're honest, it's jarring when you first when you're first introduced to the sport, just like the sport in general. Like, I still can't watch bare knuckle FC. I just can't. Like, it's in a whole nother class, and I know eventually I'll get desensitized and be like the guy, but I have to watch enough and just like get myself to that point. And I think it was the same for Dana White when he first started seeing women's MMA. Like, this is jarring, and then you start to see the skill in it, and you start to see like women's MMA strike for strike has more striking in it. Like, you may not see the amount of knockouts, but if you're into technical striking, you're going to get that out of women's MMA. And it just takes exposure to get that. And so it's hard for me to just immediately say, Stephen A. Smith, like, why don't you get it already? Because it, for many fight fans, has been a process to get to look beyond just the aesthetics of women's MMA and see it for what it is, and truly being a sports that's transformative beyond any other sport because of the parity that it has with the men's league that's with it. So, Stephen A. Smith, did you step in it? For sure. But did you step in a way that is, if we're honest, intellectually honest, yeah, it takes a minute for a casual to actually understand what he's seeing.
So I'll counterpoint you on that. You said Dana had an issue with it at first, but guess what? Dana was never a casual. Dana's in the thick of this. Stephen A. Smith, he's not even trying to really understand MMA in general. Like, I just can't get with it, man. He needs to shut his mouth about MMA and combat sports in general.
So this brings us to an interesting. This thing brings us to an interesting thing. I think you'll still have a space to counterpoint, John. Just give me a. So Clay Guida was asked a question of his thoughts on women's MMA.
Oh, okay.
And so Clay Guida says, you know what? I don't like watching it. But notice Clay Guida did not get the fire from everybody that Stephen A. Smith did. Now, why is that? Because Clay Guida says
he's not a casual.
Well, because Clay Guida's not a casual. I mean, we already established Clay Guida's legacy, right? But Clay Guida says, listen, I think women are the most beautiful thing on the earth. And he goes, I can't, it's hard for me to sit and watch them fight. He goes, I can't sit and watch them fight like that. But you know what? They have matured and gotten better faster than the men have. He says they've been fighting for only 7 years, and their level of skill has gotten as high as the men who have been fighting for 25 years.
If not better.
If not better. Notice how how Clay Guida said, I don't enjoy watching it. I want to protect them and not watch them fight. He's like, but I recognize the skill that they bring into the ring, and it's happened faster than the men have.
So he really gave him kudos.
No, that's not kudos. That's misogyny.
They've gotten better than men, quicker, faster than men, and
wait a minute,
I don't know how you didn't get the compliment in that.
Wait a minute. How do I get that? See, that there's that one right there, and then there's that one right there. Okay, so this is basically saying this. All right, so a friend of mine many years ago told me this, and it rings true 100% of the time. Be careful what you say and how you say it, because it will fall back onto you. Clay Guida just said the same thing basically that Stephen A. Smith just said, but he said it in a nicer way.
No.
And everybody's cool with it.
Nope, that's not
Think
what happened.
about that. Think about that.
That's not what happened.
Clay Guida's statement reminds me of college and professional football coaches who said that I see black athletes as quarterbacks, but I just don't want them to see. I'm not ready to put them in that position. I can't really watch them lead a team. I recognize your talent. You've done as much and you've worked harder to get into this position, but I don't want you at the helm of my team. How is this better?
Because that is synonymous with what Stephen A. Smith said.
That's Clay Guida.
No, because Stephen A. Smith said he doesn't want to see them perform.
Clay Guida says he doesn't like watching it.
Clay Guida said he doesn't like watching it, but as Lepidolite says, if Clay Guida knows they got better,
then he's watching it.
So you don't think that when he's calling fights, Stephen A. Smith there isn't a separate MMA women's
Stephen A. Smith
division.
ain't watching.
So he's just turning off the broadcast. While
We just call Stephen A. Smith a casual for like 5 minutes, and now he's all of a sudden watching. Of course he's not watching. What was Fight of the Year 2020? Can anybody tell me what Fight of the Year 2020 was?
That's not what I'm getting at. It's the fact that it's not like he's literally turning off his TV when they come on. Like, we can't give Clay credit for watching it like he's going out to some special women's MMA event site. He's watching a card.
Clay Guida fought on the same card as women. Clay Guida is training in the same gym as women. The fact that he doesn't like it doesn't stop
not just
him
training
from
in the gym with women. He's probably having to spar females. He's probably helping women get ready for fights.
Help me understand how that makes him a champion for women.
We didn't. I don't think that. Who raise your hand if you called Clay Guida a champion for women? Because it sounds like we just got a straw man put in this conversation.
Well, I'm trying to understand the separation between Stephen A. Smith's comment and Clay Guida's comment. Like, why
casual versus a person invested in the actual sport?
Somebody saying he does not want to see women in the octagon versus someone who is actively participating in the sport.
No, don't do action versus saying. Do saying versus saying.
No, because it's different. The level of actual involvement is different.
We're not talking about
this
action.
Is a man.
Even
Clay,
A. Smith.
Clay Guida gets to see women on a daily basis in the gym with him training, getting beat up, having to go home with black eyes, having CTE. Stephen, that's not even what Stephen Smith's talking about. Then on top of that, Clay says, not only do I watch these, well, I don't want to watch these women, but they've gotten better in a shorter, quicker, faster time. Women's striking is so much better than men's.
Clay Guida has more information. Still says, I don't want to watch this. Stephen A. Smith says, I don't want to watch this. Where is the difference? Not talking actions in the words they said.
No, because the thing is you are paraphrasing these to create an equality. That if you want to look at what they said versus what they said, then you have to go to the transcripts of what both of them said. And so
one says I don't like watching it, the other one says it shouldn't be on.
No, he did not say it should be on.
I don't want to see women fighting in the octagon and stuff like that. I don't want to see women fighting in the octagon.
I don't want to see women fighting in the octagon. Not that he hopes that doesn't happen. He does not want to see that. Now go to Clay's comment.
You can kind of play with the nuance in that.
No, it's not a nuance because
it's not a nuance there.
It's full context. He's literally saying, I wouldn't stop it. I'm not trying to make this go away. I personally don't like to watch it. That is what he is saying. Now take Clay Guida.
He said, I don't like watching it. I don't want to watch it.
So if they're both saying they don't want to watch it, why is one wrong?
They both say they don't want to watch it, but I get what you're saying.
Because I mean, that's synonymous to me, who has no skill in mechanics, saying that the fuel pump is messed up, it needs to be replaced, and the mechanic goes under there and says the fuel pump is messed up, it needs to be replaced.
No,
same difference. We both agree on the same point.
It literally is not the same. It is not the same. So
Okay.
So here we go.
KC, it's not good if the colonizer is jumping on your side. He shouldn't be backing you up.
Hey, that's a fallacy. Do not just because I have faux represented the colonizers. The statement still rings truth if it's still true.
Look,
all right.
I believe
we spent a lot of time on women's MMA over the last 2 weeks. I think we're all going to agree to disagree on this, and it might be worthy of us moving on to the next piece in our on the run.
Before we go though, I need to say this because the last week, because of that topic, I did receive a lot of heat for that. Okay?
I bet you did.
I did. And guess what? I still stand on it. But let me say this. Women's MMA needs to stay. Okay, we see a lot of skill coming from these fighters. If they can do it, let them do it. Let them fight. Okay, don't stop the progress. All right, they are technical strikers. They have, and the fights are a lot more entertaining, believe it or not. Okay, there is nothing wrong. Okay, and let's put it out there. I like to see a chick fight. Okay, let's put it out there.
Oh gosh, can we not?
There you go. There you go.
You were there, and then you just.
With that being said, you know what? I think that we should do some all-lady cards. The UFC should be putting itself in a position to do an all-female card from time to time.
Well, that's what Invicta is.
It's high time.
That's Invicta. That's what Invicta is.
I'm talking about the UFC. The UFC. They have enough talent in the ladies divisions these days where they could put on a pretty good card with just women. Not even a pretty good, probably a card that people will pay for.
We have the tough fights too, like the houses that they did for tough. Yep. Like, not that that's still a thing, but like I think the UFC's done its part. It's more just the fan base really finally coming on board. And I said it before, like parity wise, like women's MMA is closer to men's MMA than women's basketball is to men's basketball. There's not a lot of sports, I mean, maybe golf, but that you can get true parity between the men's and women's. And that's what I think the beauty of women's MMA is. I think in this conversation, it really comes down to not giving one person credit over the other for making the same statement. It's really where I'm coming at, because I feel like both comments reek of misogyny, but I don't want to give Clay Guida a pass. Is where I came down to.
I think that it is fair though that not having heard both statements from the people who gave them. Now we've got the actual transcript of what Stephen A. Smith said, but you've got me paraphrasing what Clay Guida said, and so trying to match these up is not necessarily a fair comparison. So I don't know that you're in a position to be able to say that this reeks of misogyny without actually hearing what Clay Guida said. Now, if you want, fair. I can play what Clay Guida said. I got it queued up.
Yes, please.
Here it goes. Let me know if it's too loud.
About women MMA, is it something what you like to watch or maybe not?
Honestly, it's super exciting. I think women are the most beautiful creatures on the planet. I'm really not for them punching each other in the face. That's only because I know how awesome they are. So it's definitely they're fun to watch, but man, I feel bad for them, and they're too pretty and too smart to be kicking each other's butt. So I'll leave it at that. But their skill level is definitely. I think they've gotten much better quicker than than maybe the male division has in the time that they've been in the UFC. What is this, like 6 years now or 7 years? There've been female fighters in the UFC. Male fighters been doing this for. Well, UFC has been around since what's 93 or 95 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the women's skill set is gone through the roof very quickly.
Not the same thing that Stephen A. Smith said. There it is.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Next topic, please.
Get him.
Hold on. Take it to corporate America. Take it to corporate America. If I said that I really believe that women have done a great job in becoming CEOs and managing companies, but I think they're too beautiful to have to be stressed out working so hard all the time, that is the epitome of misogyny.
But
I can
say that's talking about corporate. No. We're talking about people doing damage to a body.
Corporate America. Look at that.
Come on, man.
Trying to reframe. This is a reframe fallacy.
I heard too cute and
all
too
I heard
smart.
Was, exactly. That's what I heard is I'm going to minimize your efforts by saying that your looks are really what is primary in this, and you should never put that at risk for my enjoyment. So,
and on top of that, he made it sound like women have just been doing martial arts in the past 6-7 years. He forgets about women been doing martial arts since martial arts been around. Okay.
All right. Look, all I got to say about this is that it's very clear that Stephen A. Smith and Clay Guida did not say the same thing. And by trying to reframe it as, well, what if this was corporate America? that is completely out of bounds for this
Kind
conversation.
of like when we were talking about Megan Anderson.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, I think that it is a conversation that is ripe and prime for us to continue at a later date. But I think it was lively. Last story before we go into the fight card. Former heavyweight champion Leon Spinks dies at 67 years old. You know, we don't talk about boxing all that much, but Leon Spinks was Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight boxing champion. He was the only person to take the title. He was the he defeated Muhammad Ali in a 15-round split decision, became the only man ever to dethrone Ali as a heavyweight champion. We also remember Leon Spinks. He did get a chance to face off against the Iron Mike Tyson. That fight lasted famously 90 seconds.
93 seconds, sir.
About 90 seconds.
93, but nobody's counting.
93 seconds, and so we've lost a great one in Leon Spinks from the boxing world. So rest in peace, champ. All right, let's get into it. There are fights this weekend when we're speaking about champs, and that is UFC 258, Usman versus Burns. This is the fight card. All right, this is the fight card. UFC 258, Usman versus Burns, Saturday, February 13th, 2021, Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We've got 5 fights on the card. Andre Ewell versus Chris Gutierrez. We've got Julian Marquez versus Maki Pitolo. We've got Kelvin Gastelum versus Ian Heinisch. We've got Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso. And the UFC welterweight champion, Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. So we are going to do flash fight picks for 3 fights. What?
I was going to say, you got half of Factory X fighting on that card.
Absolutely.
Like you got Chris Gutierrez, you got Ian Heinisch, and sometimes Macy Barber on that card. Like, that's all Factory X. That's wild.
So the Factory X reference, everyone take a drink. All right, so we're going to do flash fight picks for Kelvin Gastelum versus Ian Heinisch. We'll start with you, Kelechi. Who you got?
I got. Oh wait, no.
Come on.
I've got
Nostradamus.
Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum is on experience points.
All right. Okay, Coach, who you got?
I'm picking Gastelum on that one as well, man.
All right.
I think he
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I like Kevin's boxing, man. I think he outboxes Ian.
All right.
I think Ian's
factor
in, though. I will say that.
Okay. I'll take Kelvin Gastelum as well. You're right. I do believe in his boxing in this matchup. I like to see it in this end in the second round.
Oh wow. All right. Well, you know, I like to be contrarian, but I'm not going to pick against Kelvin Gastelum. So I think we are all on Kelvin Gastelum. Hopefully, we are right, because I hate getting the we were all wrong pro sound.
Look, I was gonna say, yeah, Lepetolite will be happy to know next week whether or not we have to hit that crow button. Lepetolite's right. Got Ian.
Yeah, Lepetolite must be present to win.
Yeah, Lepetolite, you can catch that crow button too. Okay, good.
Must be present to win. You ain't showing up next week, and we are wrong. We ain't pressing no crow button. Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso. We'll go start with you, John Keys. Who you got?
Wow, pressure. I'm going with Macy Barber. I've been watching her Instagram. I've seen she's putting in work. I'm gonna let it. I think she's got a chance here.
All right, Kelechi.
I'm going Alexa Grasso by Macy Barber self-defeat, whether it's injury or disqualification.
He sounds like Stephen A. Smith over there. I'm going Alexa Grasso. He's being a contrarian for no good reason.
So, Coach.
I'm going with the barber.
All right.
She's going to cut that hair next week.
Oh, dang.
Okay. Because Macy Barber's last fight was against Roxanne Modafferi, you know I am a big fan of the Happy Warrior. And, you know, she really blew out her knee in that fight. I question whether or not she is going to be 100% or if she's going to be protecting that knee. So I think I'm going to go with Kelechi on this and go for Alexa Grasso for the win. All right, let's go to the main event of the evening. You've got UFC welterweight champion, the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman, versus Gilbert Burns. Does Gilbert Burns have a nickname? I don't even know.
Dorino.
Dorino?
Future of the
Dorino.
All right, Coach.
Hold on, let me check that. Let me verify that for you.
You've got two former training partners fighting against each other. You got Gilbert Burns stayed at the camp. You got Kamaru Usman going to a new camp. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. Who do you have winning the main event?
Dude, it's a tough one to call, but I'm going with the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman. I think he gets it done, man. Don't get me wrong. I like Gilbert Burns. I think he's been on a tear in that division, but Kamaru has been unstoppable. And
I
don't
think
know,
he's lost
man.
only one round in his entire UFC career.
Yeah.
Kelechi, are you honor bound to pick the Nigerian?
He's betting against his country, man.
Oh,
bro, this
dude.
one hurts my soul.
He's betting against his country, man. Oh, my goodness.
You can't do it.
Wow, are you serious, Casey?
I gotta listen. When Ovince St. Preux fights, you know I have to pick Ovince St. Preux.
Oh, this one hurts.
Wow. You gonna do it, man? Are you really gonna do it?
Let me officially abstain. Like,
no,
I can't.
Whatever. No, there is no.
Bro.
All right, well, I get Usman then.
All right, he did the right thing. All right.
Yes.
Let me be real though. I got Usman. He's gonna have some trouble there, and I really believe that he's gonna be in deep waters in the first round. And unless he catches Gilbert with a lucky shot out of a clinch or something, it's gonna be a hard day for Usman. But I'm officially picking him despite that.
All right, there you go. Listen, it don't have to be bad. It don't have to be bad. John Keys, who you got?
Okay, Dorino, which stands for tough or hard. I'm gonna say Usman, but I really want to have the ability to change it after the weigh-ins. I need
it's
to
on
see
wax.
what they're good.
Madame Tussauds rule.
Man,
What are you looking for in the weigh-in? What are you looking for in the weigh-ins? Because Doreno used to fight at 155.
I'm just gonna say he who flinches first dies. Okay, that's just it's just that simple. Every time that somebody is flinched at the weigh-ins, they ended up getting beat. Okay, so I got to see who does that. So if you want to put me down hard for Usman, I have no problem with that because I do believe Usman can pull it off. Kelechi is right, though. Dorino is a monster. Okay, he's a grappling machine. We're about to see if.
Do y'all know Usman's grappling pedigree? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah,
Marty from Nebraska can hold his own, but it's the speed and the pace.
Hold his own.
Man,
Dorino,
I'm not taking nothing away from Usman. Dorino is really just that good. No, you can make your pick. Go ahead, sir.
I'm looking at it. You're all look. I'm gonna be like Lee Corso. You're all on Usman. Not so fast. I'm going for Gilbert Burns. I'm gonna be the guy.
Wow. You know what I really.
He's like, okay, we see that. Yeah, we see.
Gilbert
okay,
Burns.
the Peter Light. just so you know, I do look at the stare downs because the stare downs tells you everything. Okay, Masashi Miyamoto preached that he who flinches is the dead one. Okay, it is very true. You will see there that somebody flinches, be it an eye bat, they may jerk a little, but he who flinches is the one that's going down.
Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But you're on record.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long fight. Hey, don't expect this to end quickly. It is time to go to the deep water. Somebody's about to earn their belt that night. Somebody's gonna be a champion, and somebody's just gonna be.
It's gonna be a great fight. Follow us on social media. On Instagram, I'm at Combat Sports Talk. John Keys, what you got?
I'm at Keys to Victory, and that's Keys with an ES.
Kelechi.
I'm on Tinder, but on Instagram, I am at Push Pull Pray.
And Coach?
I'm at Darkside _Muay Thai _ on Instagram.
All right. You can find us on our website at www.combatsportstalk.com. You can find us on all of your favorite podcasting and social media platforms. Just look for us. Definitely want to make sure we shout out MMA Junkie, MMA Fighting, MMA Mania, Bloody Elbow, and the Intelligent Defense Discussion Group, where we get our stories and a lot of these conversations take place. So, on behalf of George G Money Stallworth, Kelechi KC Onyebuchi, and John the Keys to Victory Keys, my name is Ryan Smith, and I'm reminding you to keep your hands up, your chin tucked, and throw bombs. We'll catch you next time.